Hi everyone, it's Merc007 here, otherwise known as Miss Merc. Thank you for joining my board game video. Today we're going to take a look at how to play Beverage. This is a preview video, and the images and the details in this video are not the final version. Please enjoy! Beverage is made by ASOBITION from Osaka, Japan. It's designed by Nikaido Konomi and the art by Yuto Miura. In Beverage, you are the CEO of a soft drink company. You and your competitors are investing in a stadium and must compete to grow your brand to be the most reputable soft drink company there is. The game is for 3 to 5 players, and playtime varies depending on how quickly the stadium gets built. After the end of construction stage 3, the player who earns the highest reputation points is the winner. The game board will be double-sided for 3 to 4 players and the other side for 5 players. Other changes for the number of players are: in the vending machine, the market holder, for 3 players it'll have 30 funds, for 4 players 40 funds, and so on. For a 3 to 4 player game, there is only 1 advantage token placed on these spaces. For a 5 player game, 2 advantage tokens. On the stadium cards for 3 players, place an associate token of another colour, not being used in this game, on cards marked for 4 players, 5 players. For 4 players, place it on the 5 card icon. The rulebook will have more information about the setup. The person who drank juice the most recently goes first. They place their disc near the turn order track and everyone does the same. This area determines when each player takes their turn. The turn order will change at the beginning of the round. And each player is given 10 bottle cap funds to start preparing before the first round. Starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player buys their starting resources. Associates place unpurchased associates onto the coaster. Those are in training and cannot be used to take actions that round. Associates purchased are put in front of you. Reputation. Reputations purchased or earned move up on the reputation track around the board. When moving onto the same space as another, the player at the bottom of the stack will break ties. And market research tokens. These tokens can help at the beginning of a round. Any remaining funds can be spent during the game. Now we can begin. There are 7 phases in a round. First, the planning phase. Place the top 3 cards from the market deck face down in a row. For 5 players, place 4 cards instead. The top of the market cards give a little bit of prediction of how the market might go: low, steady, or high. Simultaneously, every player enters a secret sales bid in their counter. Players can also use their market research token now. This allows them to wait to bid. Reveal and count the funds from the market holder, which is the vending machine. The players who use the market research token can now make their secret sales bid at this time. Flip over and reveal the 3 cards in the row to determine how many funds are added to the market from the bank. If a recession card appears, remove the highest number card revealed, then add the remaining to the market. For example, in this case, remove the highest card. So only the remaining funds are added to the market. There can never be 2 or more recession cards revealed at one time. If so, draw new market cards and reshuffle the recession cards back into the deck. Next is the sales phase. Players can now earn some funds from the market. The player who made the lowest sales bid takes their funds first and places their turn marker on the leftmost available space on the turn track. Then the next lowest bid player does the same, and so on. If there is a tie, the player with the most reputation on the reputation track goes first to take income. If tied on 0 reputation, randomly choose. If there are not enough funds for a player to collect entirely, they bust. Players who bust place their token on the turn order track at the end. If tied, the player who entered the larger amount is in last place. If there are any remaining funds in the market, they get to bid again. Any remaining funds from the market are placed back into the market holder vending machine. Players who bid the highest without going bust will earn reputation points. It will depend on the number of players, so refer to the final rulebook on how many tokens are earned. In the business action phase, players take actions according to the turn track order. You can dispatch an available associate to do an action, or pass for the rest of the round. Once everyone has passed, this phase ends. Show this by shifting the token down on the turn order track. To dispatch an associate, take an available one not on the coaster and place it in a space on the board. Employee training, public relations, issue shares, factory improvements, and stadium investments. However, if there is already another associate in that space, pay 1 fund for each associate already in that space, in addition to the cost of that action. The 1 fund here goes to the market holder, the vending machine, except for in the employee training action, that fund goes to the bank. When going to the space to activate it, pick up an advantage token if there is one on that space. In employee training, you will prepare associates for your next round by placing 1 available associate onto this area. Then move your disc to an available space on the employee training track and pay the equal amount to the bank. For example, if you want 6 available associates for your next round, place it on the number 6 and pay 6 bottle cap funds to the bank. Remember, you must also pay 1 fund for each of the previous associates already here in this area. In public relations, improve your PR by placing 1 available associate onto the PR space. Whenever you perform this action, you must move to a higher space than other discs on the track. To move up on the PR track, perform any combination of the following: spend 2 funds, or return 1 available associate from your play area and put them onto the coaster, or spend a PR advantage token and put it back into the stock. Later in the progress check phase, players will compare their PR and gain reputation. For the issue shares action in the green building, players get a chance to earn more funds by placing your available associates on the share space above the shares track. Then move your disc up 1 in the shares track and earn 5 funds from the bank. Then place your used associate onto your coaster. To move to spaces 8 or higher, you need to spend a shares advantage token and put it back into the stock. In the factory improvements action, by raising your disc in this area, you can reduce your taxes later. Place an available associate in the factory improvement space and move your disc up 1 space to the right. Pay the cost indicated here to the market. Then increase your reputation up to 5 points. Minus 1 reputation point for any player's disc that is in front of your disc or on the same space. They got here before you. The Stadium Investment Action Space is used to help build the stadium. In order to go here, you need 2 available associates at hand. Place 1 available associate into the Stadium Investment Space, then place another available associate onto an unoccupied stadium card in the correct construction phase, which will remain here for the rest of the game. Only 1 card can be constructed per action, and pay the cost indicated on the card to the market. In order to construct a larger space card, you need to spend a Stadium Investment Advantage token as well, by placing it back into the stock. Large space cards have a darker border and are also counted as 2 cards for the stadium area bonus in the final scoring. The stadium cards have been placed in rows according to the construction stage, 1, then 3, and 2, and the cards indicate the reputation points earned at the end of the game. For example, if we are in construction phase 1, only the unoccupied cards from construction phase 1 can be built. When investing in the stadium card, in the end game scoring, players will get points depending on who built the cards in each construction stage, and there will be also another bonus scoring for the biggest connecting area of stadium cards, which we will talk about a little bit later on. Use and save your funds wisely, because in the next phases you'll need to pay taxes and dividends. If you're unable to, there'll be some penalties. The 4th phase is the settlement phase. Players need to calculate and pay their taxes. Check your disc on the reputation track and check the orange box you are currently standing on or have passed for the amount of tax you need to pay. Reduce this amount if you have made a factory improvement by the number in the green box. If a player is unable to pay their taxes, they must reduce their reputation 1 point for each tax they couldn't pay. In the dividends phase, pay dividends to your stockholders. Check the shares track, the green building, and each player pays the amount written where their disc is. If you can pay the amount, your reputation is raised by that amount paid. If you can't pay the full amount or choose not to pay for this round, you pay nothing. But there is a penalty. Players who do not pay their dividends must lower their reputation by the unpaid funds times 2. Your stockholders are unhappy and you lose a lot of favor with them. In the progress check phase, look at 2 areas on the board. Starting with a player with the highest PR on the PR track, increase that player's reputation. The player highest on the PR track gets 5 reputation points, the second highest gets 3, and the third highest gets 1. Players at 0 on the PR track get no points. Then move everyone's disc on the PR track back to 0. Next, advance the construction stage token, 1 space to the right on the round track. If it reaches the end of the row, it will move to the start of the next row. However, there is a special case. If players are fast at constructing and all stadium cards in that construction stage have been built, it will push the token to the next stage. Building faster may make the game end quicker. If this is the end of construction phase 3, go straight to final scoring. Otherwise, move into the final cleanup phase. Return all associates on the game board to the player's coaster. They're back in training. Remove the turn order discs. Discard the face-up market row cards out of the game. Place 1 advantage token onto Stadium Investments, Public Relations and Issue Share Spaces for a 3 to 4 player game, or 2 tokens for a 5 player game. Any advantage tokens already on those spaces don't get removed. Now check the employee training track and take that amount of associates from your coaster into your play area. They are now available for use in the next round. and move everyone's disc back to 0. Players who have 0 available associates can take 1 to 4 from their coaster by losing 3 reputation per associate added. Then start the round again at the planning phase. At the end of construction stage 3, the end game scoring is calculated. Gain reputation written on your stadium cards and your reputation tokens. Players earn a bonus according to who contributed the most in the construction of the stadium. There's a chart on the board you can refer to. For example, in construction stage 1 here, this player has the most cards built and they earn 10 points. Check each of the construction stages. Players then earn an area bonus on the largest area constructed. The player with the largest consecutive area earns 8 points. The player with the second largest earns 5 points, and the third largest 2 points. In this area bonus, larger space cards are counted as 2 cards when you're calculating. Finally, players reveal how much funds they have collected. The most funds score 5 reputation points. The second most funds score 3, and the third most scores 1. The player with the highest reputation score is the winner. They fostered and grew their soft drink company the best. In a tie, the player with the most associates on the stadium cards wins. In Beverage, there are a lot of interesting parts to this game. I think the planning of actions will be appealing to some, and thinking how to balance funds and your associate workers while trying not to get into too much trouble with taxes is really interesting. I have to admit I actually enjoyed the tax season and paying dividends in this game. I'm also enamored with vending machines and stadiums in Japan, so it's quite a captivating theme. I found the planning phase with the bidding quite fun, as I like bidding games. The new printed game should have a cool bidding dial card for players to use, so I'm excited to see those. I've only seen this digital prototype of the game, so I'm interested in how it all turns out. Beverage is launching on Kickstarter all the way from Japan. The link is in the YouTube description. Well, I hope you've enjoyed visiting the exciting soft drink world of Beverage with me. If you want something unique and fun to play, have a look at these games from Japan. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. Thank you so much for your support as always. Thank you for watching. Until next time, happy gaming!